Hey everybody, I'm just getting so many stories about drug addiction. Do you know that the average Joe Blow next door that you think is the clean and proper person, do you know that person could try a recreational drug just for a party, maybe for stress? Do you know how many people across Newfoundland are struggling with addiction, mental illness, and suffered because of drugs? I know professional people, I won't name their names. I can go on live all day long. I know prominent lawyers in Newfoundland. If I said their names on here, prominent lawyers that I've sold drugs to. Prominent, high up in our justice system. I will never out his name. But listen, do you know your neighbors on drugs, basically, or across the street? Is an epidemic. Men are working, their wives are home on coke. I know women that married children, beautiful life, try to drug for a recreational time. Next thing you know, everything is sold, the house has gotten about prostituting. You got to take addiction seriously. This is why I'm going to go out tonight and find the dealers and the users. There's somebody's daughters, there's somebody's children, and I'm going to show you real life. Everybody's hid behind their doors. When the doors are barred, the drugs comes out. Your children suffering, your husband suffering, you're suffering. You got to take drug addiction seriously. You can't come on here and message me and inbox me, and I'm not a savior. I don't save the world, but I tell you something now. Being in your room or being in your house, selling your body, just imagine, you're God's child. How can you have sex with a man, especially without a condom, knowing that you're married or even if you're single? How can you sell your body for drugs? There's something I could never understand. That's how bad the addiction's on some of ye. There's no sense of inboxing me. You got to go admit that you need treatment. How can you as a man go out and sell your body? Addiction's very seriously. You're sniffing coke in your house. You don't think you're walking around sniffing coke in the bathroom. You don't think your children's hearing you going. You don't hear it. This is stuff children pick up. You're affecting your children's life. By you doing coke as an adult, as a woman, no matter where it's at in your home, your children are listening. They're watching. Next thing you know, your child is doing drugs. She's out prostituting. It's a repetitive cycle. There's no sense of inboxing me. You got to say that you need help. I haven't got the answers. Drug addiction's very serious. Very, very, very serious, drugs. So I'm going to go out tonight. You got to stop using. You got to seek help. Do you know that you could have $1 million, hit rock bottom, and come out on top? I spent 21 years in prison. I never had 5 cents when I got out of jail. I went to work every single day in Toronto, and I got the bus for a year. A full year I got the bus. Until I saved enough money to get a car. I think I should be really tapped on the back for that. I don't give myself enough credit. Here I am with all these disorders, suffered all my life, and here I am. I'm only renting, but I got beautiful furniture here. I got a vehicle. My fiance got a vehicle. She's got a good job. Now I think it's time to take it to the next step. But I think I should give myself a tap on the back. If I can do it, you can do it. I went and got help. I went and got treatment. I smokes marijuana only. I'm not saying that's an excuse. You shouldn't smoke it. But that's me. I don't do pills. I don't do coke. I don't need it. I'm on another journey now. I look at myself, my kid. I got a beautiful daughter. I got a beautiful fiance. I got to stop being selfish. I got people around me that care. I don't want to affect them like I've been affected. So the ladies on here that are using, you must give it up. You must go get treatment. You must lay it down. You're affecting your children. And the women on here, just because you prostituted and drugs and you got addicted, you're a beautiful woman. You can heal inside, forgive yourself, and move on. You got to save yourself to save your children. You can't pass this down to your children. You think people using drugs, you think your families don't know? Your husbands, your wives, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers don't know you're using drugs? Robbing their purses, robbing their wallets, selling their jewelry, selling your household goods. Very bad in the community. Shame on the dealers that are taking it. A real drug dealer and a real drug user will rob a bank, rob the government. But when you're selling your wife's jewelry and you're prostituting your body out, that right there is a sign that you got to give it up. So I'm going to go again. I keep on going live all day long about drugs and epidemic and social issues. But you got to stop prostituting. Prostituting your body out for drugs is a very, very sin. Bad, bad thing. Larry! No. I'm trying to do it right, Larry. I'm trying to have the courage, buddy. I'm trying to get the courage, man. This is very, very, very real, buddy. I got a lot of people hurting, Larry. Very, very a lot of people. Everybody's hurting, brother. Addiction's really bad. They're prostituting. Children at 14, 15. You can't be out there having sex at 14 and 15 years old for drugs. You're being abused. It's a crime. It's a shame. My God, is people going to listen to me? I'm going to when I go to court for my charges of running your threats, I'm going to bring my phone and I'm putting my cell phone in as evidence. I got children on here 14, 15 years old being sexually abused and raped for drugs. I got women on here cheating on their husbands, prostituting. Imagine your husband's working and people prostituting for drugs. Yeah, and people come talking to you. They has the white powder in their nose, hanging out of their nose, and they're, hey man, how's ya? I don't think I'm doing anything tonight. Huh? And like their lips are turned sideways. Their noses are all white with powder. Right? Everybody's here nose with powder. And you go around the community, but no, you don't do drugs. Hey Peter, what's up Peter Parker? So, that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to risk my life. But I know I'm going to be safe because I'm going to approach him with humbleness. I'm going to approach him with honor. I'm going to approach him with respect and ski masks. I'm going to put ski masks on serious drug dealers. I'm going to look for the gangbangers that are really packing guns and will take your life. You're dealing with a serious issue. This is a national crisis. But yet, here we let people go around in the neighborhoods carrying guns, known carrying guns, and dealing drugs to children. Right? We got politicians home that have suffered drug addiction. We got people in justice suffers addiction. It's an epidemic in our society. And everybody's turning a blind eye. The College of Physicians in Newfoundland should be investigated. How can a family of 5 children with a mother and father all be prescribed Percocet? Every single family member is on Percocet morning, noon and night. The children are prostituting their bodies. And then the rest of the prescriptions, they're selling it to the neighborhood to cover the cost of heating and their bills and groceries. It's a shame in Newfoundland. I could rap this all day long for 24 hours a day. I get so many inbox messages about people suffering coke addiction, rape, torture, abuse from their fathers. I got children on here 14 years old. Their fathers are beating them up, giving them drugs. How am I supposed to handle that? This all got to be in the community. Everybody knows about it. Right? Newfoundland, we had a cultural province. We had music, festivals, safe neighborhoods, community gatherings. Now what's happening in Newfoundland? Everybody's gone in their single path. They're frightened to death to speak. And if they spoke, they're going to get their houses broken into and bombs and gas thrown on their vehicles. And there's no justice for the victim. The victim in Newfoundland got no rights and no say. The justice down in Newfoundland, by the God, if we don't vote out the Liberal government and get this new Conservative government to power, and this new Conservative government, if they're going to listen to the people and really dig in the trenches and open up and roll up the sleeves, the Conservative government is going to go down in history. I'm not scared to go out. I'm going out tonight. The Conservative government, we're going to elect them in. Ches Crosby, I knows we got a lot of money. But by Lord God, if we votes in the Liberal government, by the God, that's going to be a shame on Newfoundland. Conservative government, please. Our natural resources. Get our finances. Get it into this mental health. We need an immediate addiction center. A treatment facility in Newfoundland ASAP. We need the ground broken right away. Well, you know, we got Paul Lane. He's going to be in the House of Assembly representing us with our petition for the HM Penitentiary and mental illness and the closure. So that's one politician that the community we're going to support. But I'll say again, drug addiction comes within you as a person. You have to make the step first. And once you're healed and recognize that you have an addiction, that's when you're going to save your children. Now, is addiction hard? Most certainly is. But how I control my addiction is I don't go to places where there's drugs. I don't hang around with people that uses drugs. And I don't do things that gets me to be around drugs. Right? So, that's my moral of the story. You know, why would you go to a bar where there's coke if you don't want to do coke and drink? It don't make no sense to me. Why would you wait and take a couple of $100 out of your pocket, go do lines of blow, come home drunk? I've done it all my life. Me and my fiance, in 7 years, my fiance seen me slip up twice, and that was in Newfoundland. I had 2 big major slip-ups in Newfoundland that I almost lost my life. Will it happen again? Maybe so. Will it happen today? Not on your life. I don't be around crack cocaine. I don't be around people that robs drugstores. I don't want to rob drugstores no more. I robbed enough drugstores. My drugstore days are over with. I don't go around people that wants to do drugs. That's not my lifestyle. I don't carry that way. That's not me. I'd rather go to a church. I'd rather go to a club with guys that are real, that don't do drugs, and talk live, real, right on shit. I like to go to beaches. I like gardening. Me and my wife, I like to sit home and watch movies. I like my gardening. I don't really socialize a lot. But I want to open up about who I am and where I came from and where I'm going. I met these new bunch now they're called real talkers. They seem like a bunch of grounded men, very honest and spiritually guided. That's the people I want to connect with. You can't tell me there's no good people in society. Just because I was a dope addict, a junkie, and I spent 21 years in prison, that don't make me a horrible person. I have great friends. All my friends that know me, they all deleted me and blocked me in their lives, which is the best thing ever happened to me. Because now I'm clean. I got a job. I got a beautiful fiance, and I got my daughter living with me. Nobody got to tell me that I'm not doing right. I walk alone on Mother Earth. Hey, Bobby! Bobby Leonard Jr. Straight up. All to the Leonards. But how can you, in a society, turn a friggin' blind eye? It's not ratting. That word, do you know what a rat means? Do you know what a rat is? When a gangster robs a bank, or when a gangster is doing some serious stuff, and you rat or wear a wire, that's a rat. That's a straight up gangster rat. They should be removed off earth. Mind your own business. A gangster rat, hang them. But I apologize, I shouldn't say that because I got children and people watching me. But my point is, how can you sit around your coffee tables? How can you sit around in a bar? How can you sit around at work and in at your office, government buildings, police stations, court buildings, and talk about what's going on in the city that we see every day with our own eyes? Breaking entries, armed robberies, stabbings, sexual assaults, rapes of women, prostitution down on Langs Hill, young women down there prostituting their bodies, men driving by, picking them up, raping them, getting them addicted to drugs, smoking drugs in the car. The neighborhood is known. All the drug houses, people walking in and out at an all-day rate. Not one people, not two people, hundreds. So here I am, Mike Williams, grade 6 with a mental illness that's retarded in the head. And Newfoundland is letting that happen. Every single person in the community watches the people with their door, revolving door, swinging in and out. They might as well just take the door off and put a blanket there. It's a known fact. Every community knows where the drug house is at. Rampant pill dealing, drug dealing. And the cops are driving by. And if they do get busted, they're out the next day because they're ratting. Then the drug house is back up and running again. Then they're busted. They'll rat on the boss. Back out again. Revolving door. The justice system in Newfoundland. So I'm Mike Williams, a grade 6 education. Come on a live feed, and I don't want to shut up because it's a fact in Newfoundland. It's a disgrace on the Minister of Justice. It's a disgrace on the politicians. It's a disgrace on our natural resources. That here Mike Williams suffered all his life and got grade 6. And it took me with the balls to lose me family, to come out and shame myself, to criminally get charged, might have to go to jail. Embarrass myself, get sick, get threatened, could lose my life. But if that means I saved one child in Newfoundland, I'd rather die. I'd rather die for something that I loved and I fought for than live for nothing. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Because I don't want no child ever to be raped. I don't want no woman to prostitute her body. I don't want no man to kill himself. And most important, I don't want no child ever to end up in the Her Majesty's Penitentiary. So what have I got to do? What have I got to do to get this message out to Newfoundland? I lost my family. I embarrassed myself. I shamed myself. I'm going to jail. I don't know if anybody's listening. Please stop doing drugs and save your daughter and your son from the next generation. The Blacks, Buckmaster Circle, Monday Pan, Stephenville, Chalker Place. Do you know how bad that I suffered? You'll never understand. But if there's a way I could get the word to Newfoundland to save one child, one person, please don't let your body be used for sexual deviant purposes. Don't let your children be raped. Don't let your houses be violated. We all got to come together now. I had my say. We had enough. We got to get together. The armed robberies at the clerks are getting stabbed and shot. Children at a rate of 14 and 15 and 16 getting raped. I got it all here on the evidence. I'm turning it all into the police. I'm putting it all into the court when I goes to court for my charges. We all got to come together now. Bring in the politicians. Bring in the government. Bring in the neighborhood. We got to get this together, okay? I got to get out my live feed again. But please, boy, we got to stop it. I love you, everybody. Take care. And let's try to save the next generation so they don't become victims of rape. They don't become victims of violence. I love everybody.